I believe LeBron James should go to the Boston Celtics. I know that's maybe weird, maybe kind of controversial. I believe the Boston Celtics really are the best place for LeBron James and the best place for his goals. Remember, I talked yesterday that LeBron James has to go somewhere where he can go and win championships. Not one, not two, a couple. He needs to accumulate championships if he's going to ever be considered the greatest player of all time. And you look around at his options next year, the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers are not bad. I mean, they're a big brand, but do you really think LeBron James with the Lakers could win a championship? I don't think they could beat the Golden State Warriors. And the Rockets are not an awful fit. I think he could win some games. He might even win a championship there. But ultimately, I don't think LeBron James fits very well with Mark D'Antoni, the coach for the Houston Rockets. I just don't think it's a good fit. And so I believe LeBron James should go to the Boston Celtics. I think, so I want to clarify. I think LeBron James and D'Antoni, D'Antoni does not compromise his system. And you need a coach that's willing to build around LeBron James, not just try to fit LeBron James into his system. And I don't know that D'Antoni would do that very well. Now, the reason why LeBron James needs to go to the Boston Celtics, first and foremost, is this. The Boston Celtics are ready and set up to win a championship even without LeBron James. The Celtics don't need LeBron James to possibly win a championship next year. They're that good. They could beat the Warriors next year. But then you add LeBron James to that mix. Oh, yeah. Like they're incredible. And the other reason for why LeBron James should go to the Boston Celtics, so he could win championships, but he's also going to get to play for Brad Stevens. I don't know that LeBron James particularly wants a great coach, because if he did, he would have got one. But I know that we've never seen LeBron James with a really great, smart coach, and I think Brad Stevens is that rare guy. So Popovich is too domineering for LeBron James. He's never going to go play for the Spurs because he doesn't want to be dominated. But I believe LeBron James would respect Brad Stevens. And he knows that Brad Stevens would get the most out of LeBron James. And that is exactly what Brad Stevens would do. I think LeBron James could play till he's 38, 39 with Brad Stevens and still be winning championships because Brad Stevens would know how to get every ounce, all the best value out of LeBron James. I think LeBron James could have a renaissance at the end of his career if he went to the Boston Celtics and played for Brad Stevens. It's pretty simple, too. You look around the league, the two biggest brands in the NBA are very clearly, and historically in basketball, the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics. It would be such a joy to see LeBron James play in the Garden with the Boston Celtics. Now, there are some concerns. One of the concerns for people listening to this, they're saying, well, Kyrie Irving made a point to leave LeBron James. Why would LeBron James go follow him to Boston? Maybe that would be a problem, but I just think that's petty and silly. And I think when you're pursuing a championship, maybe not. I just don't believe there's a way that they don't put that past them. I certainly would hope not. Maybe it is enough. Maybe it is enough to keep LeBron James out of Boston. However, I will point out, Kyrie Irving got injured multiple times last year. Before LeBron James, he was injured. He left LeBron James, he was injured even more. Maybe the Celtics would be willing to move on from Kyrie Irving if it meant they got to have LeBron James. You could still trade Kyrie Irving for another good star. And I don't think that it's impossible to say LeBron James having to deal with Kyrie Irving. I don't know that Kyrie Irving's a big enough thing to stop LeBron James from coming to Boston. Here's the main concern is finances. I don't know how the cap space would work with the Boston Celtics signing LeBron James. But I do know this. If I'm LeBron James, he won't do this, but this is what I would do. I would take a pay cut to go to Boston and win more championships. Look, LeBron James, he's almost a billionaire. He doesn't need the money. Take a couple million off and have a chance to win a championship. At this point, it's all about legacy. LeBron James' legacy depends on how many more championships he wins. And in Boston, LeBron James would absolutely have more opportunities to win championships than anywhere else. Here's the biggest concern. Here's why LeBron James might not go to Brad Stevens. I said the big selling point was Brad Stevens. I said the Celtics, you know what I mean. Another concern for why LeBron James may not go to the Boston Celtics is indeed Brad Stevens. He's a big selling point. He's what could get LeBron James to Boston. He's also what could keep LeBron James away from Boston. See, credit matters. And if LeBron James went and won 2, 3, maybe 4 championships with the Boston Celtics, Brad Stevens is going to get a ton of that credit, not LeBron James, and that could be a significant problem. However, I will point out this. I got into a discussion with a commenter today even about this. Michael Jordan won championships with Phil Jackson, and yet nobody says, oh, Jordan only won because of Phil Jackson. And I think the same logic could be used here. People always said, in fact, someone even said Phil Jackson only won because of Michael Jordan. I would say this, well, no coach has ever won without a star player. But I don't know that if LeBron James won a bunch of championships with the Celtics, I don't think Brad Stevens would get all the credit. I think a lot of that would go to LeBron James because LeBron James still has to make it happen. LeBron James is on the court. For the same reason, people don't say, well, Kobe Bryant only won because of Phil Jackson. People don't say Michael Jordan only won because of Phil Jackson. You never say only the coach won a championship. We often give credit to the players, and that is why I believe LeBron James, even working with Brad Stevens, even the possibility of Brad Stevens getting a lot more credit, that might not be enough if I'm LeBron James to deter me from the Boston Celtics. Now, I don't think there's even a chance LeBron James goes to Boston, but that's what I want. If I'm LeBron James, if it's me, I'm not him, he's not me, but if I was LeBron James, I would go to the Boston Celtics. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, if you like it, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube. And if you really like this podcast, help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show.